Aloha, this is the Fat Health Teacher, and what I wanted to do first is I have a couple of podcasts that I listen to on a pretty regular basis. One of those is called The Art of Charm, and the Art of Charm episode that I'm currently listening to, I believe it released today, is episode 529. They're talking about marketing. So, my last episode, I was talking about tips and traps and why people buy stuff, the things that they do, and all of that good stuff. In this episode of The Art of Charm, I actually found very interesting. The most recent part of the episode, because I haven't even finished it yet, I wanted to share it with you. The most interesting part in this episode of Art of Charm, one of the things they talked about with regards to the Jersey Shore is that a couple of the people were given things. So the situation was given a contract to not wear Abercrombie and Fitch because they didn't want their clothes to be associated with Jersey Shore. And a competitor of Gucci actually sent Snooki a Gucci bag because they wanted her to be seen with Gucci and not with their products, which I thought was interesting. And to be honest, there have been occasions where I have chosen not to use something because of who is associated with it. I wouldn't be surprised if that has been true for you as well. All right, so that's my spiel on the whole Art of Charm thing. Like I said, check out their podcast. It is an intriguing thing. I find it to be very interesting. Okay, so what I want to talk about is that a few weeks ago I had a conversation with my roommate along the lines of abortion and the whole don't take my guns and all that stuff. As you are very likely aware, we've had some terrible things happen. It seems like they've happened quite a lot in the last few weeks, which is that people are getting shot. Sometimes they're being shot by cops, sometimes it's cops getting shot. And in either situation, these are not things that we actually want to happen. And so there's this whole group, Black Lives Matter, that has come up. And depending on who you're talking to, they're a racist group, they're a terrorist group, they're a whatever. It also depends on how you're looking at their thing. Are you reading that title with an invisible only in front of it, that only Black Lives Matter? Or are you recognizing it for what it seems to be, which is, hey, this is a very biased situation and people are being targeted and this is something that we need to address. Therefore, Black Lives Matter is pay attention to what's happening with Black lives. Okay, now I'm saying this stuff as a mostly straight white female. I haven't had to deal with a whole lot of anything. I mean, I grew up on the Navajo reservation where I was a minority, but even then, either I wasn't aware or it just wasn't happening where I didn't feel particularly discriminated against. To be honest, the reasons I didn't fit in, I felt had less to do with my race and more to do just with how awkward I was. So it's an interesting, it's an interesting type of thing. Anyway, so I had this thought that it seems like a lot of that if you were to look at kind of the conservative view, right, that this seems to be the group that is pro-gun, right? They don't want their guns to be taken away, and they are also pro-life, which is an interesting dichotomy to me because pro-life is all about taking away somebody else's choice, right? Imposing your values on somebody else. So you're saying we're going to get rid of abortions. In some situations, you're saying we don't want to have to pay for birth control or we don't want to provide birth control, which is all about controlling what somebody else or influencing what somebody else is doing with their life. And then you have these same people. It seems to be that there is a lot of crossover. So if I was to do a Venn diagram, I have a feeling that instead of being like this, where it has this little amount that's shared, that it would be closer to this, right? Where there are only like these tiny slivers of stuff that are not shared values. But with the gun thing, you have, I don't want to register it, I don't want to have to pay for a background check, I want to be able to just go in, drop off my money, and have it. I don't want any restrictions on ammunition, I don't want to be told how to store it, I don't want to be told any of this stuff. And I just find that it doesn't seem to match, right? Because in this one area, it's don't tell me what to do, and in this other area, it is, but it's okay for me to tell you what to do, right? So that is what it is. I really don't have much more to talk about with regards to that. Oh, but I will also say that this seems to be a group that is more likely to disagree with things like gay marriage or transgender bathroom rights, that kind of stuff. Again, being all about saying, I can tell you what to do, but you don't get to tell me what to do. And yeah. By the way, if you are playing Pokemon Go, good job. I have taken a look at the game a bit, and it seems like it is very much about encouraging you to get out and move around. In fact, you can't do a whole lot unless you are out and moving around. I actually haven't caught a Pokemon since like last night at the house, which is telling me that if I want to catch a Pokemon, I need to get out and move around. Whether it's walk to the park or go to my school or something that is moving me, because they're not going to come to me. And if you're playing Pokemon Go, you know they're not going to come to you. Okay? I've got, I don't know, the kid has my phone, but I think I've got about 20 something out of the 100 and whatever identified, which is kind of fun. It is interesting to see how much this has taken off. I'm interested in seeing what happens in the next couple of months after the kind of new wears off where it comes to Pokemon Go. Like, are people still going to be playing, or are they going to be done and decide that walking around is just really not worth all of it? All right. You know what? That's it. I'm going to have this be a very short video today. This is the Fat Health Teacher signing out. When I am inspired to do something more entertaining, I will definitely let you know. I think one of the ones that's coming up is going to be on abuse and why people don't initially leave when they are in an abusive relationship. I also am thinking about talking about narcissistic people, but I don't know if I'm going to do that in the same episode or if I'm going to split it out into 2 different episodes. To be honest, it would be easy to split it out into two separate episodes, but we'll see. News on the Bob front is that he was found competent, and he is expecting that he's going to get released on Friday. I'm hoping that that doesn't happen because he seems to have difficulty making healthy choices for himself when he is not in jail. And I think it's harder for him to make those not so healthy choices when he's in jail. When he is not in jail, he seems to just not care what happens, because he knows that when he uses it makes him, go off the deep end. He seems a little crazy, but he still chooses to use. So we'll see what happens. This is the Fat Health Teacher signing out. I will talk to you all the next time I talk to you. Bye.